Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the return episode of Career Retrospective. I know it's been a little bit of time since I've been around here. I've been dealing with some family stuff, so I appreciate everybody being so understanding and patient of me. Thank you to Shadow so much for keeping things under wraps while I was gone and helping me out. I know he hosted a couple episodes for me, so a big appreciation to that man. He's somewhere in the comments, I'm sure. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, our first episode back, brought to you by Off the Top Media and Rivet City Radio. The phenomenal AJ Styles. I'm honestly surprised we haven't tackled AJ Styles yet, given the amount that man has accomplished in this business. As always, with me, we got Scalz over to my left. I think he's on my left. Is that where you are on the stream? Are you on my left?
I am on your left. Yes, you are correct.
Scalz is the man behind the scenes that pretty much runs this whole operation, gets it going, helps put everything together. He's joining us tonight. As always, also, we got the Alpha Wolf, Sean. All right. And returning, representing Northland Wrestling out of North Bay, Ontario, Canada, we got Rusty Blackwell.
Hey, happy to be back. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And also from Northland Wrestling, this is my first time meeting Josh, but Josh Bain.
Hey, how's it going?
All right. Guys, Rusty, tell us a little bit about yourself real quick. I know it's been a minute.
So I'm Rusty Blackwell, the Backwoods Butcher. I've been wrestling for a few years now, and if you can believe it, I do my best to be a champion of the average person, and work with my best friend Tommy McLeod, who's my tag team partner, who, if you can believe it, took the belt off of this guy right here below me. It was fantastic. Yeah, so we'll start it off that way. Yeah.
All right. Josh, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm Josh Bain. I'm the main man. And, Rusty's got it right. Tommy McLeod did take the True Patriot Championship from me, but I plan on just absolutely embarrassing Tommy McLeod and taking it back. I'm the most fightingest champion in the history of Northland Wrestling and the longest reigning True Patriot champion of all time. I've got career wins over guys like Trent Seven, and I'm going to get another one over Tommy McLeod, and there's nothing else we can do about it.
Oh, my God.
You say Trent Seven?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. Heck yeah, man. Josh, I know Rusty's been wrestling for about 200 years. How about you?
Rusty's been wrestling for 200 years. I've been wrestling just a little bit shorter than that. No, me and Rusty actually started training at the exact same time.
Okay.
Under Dan Jarris with Energy Y Pro Wrestling Academy. We started training together. We came in as friends, but then we had to get in the ring together, and now we don't even like each other anymore. This is the first time we've ever looked at each other without going to blows, probably in 6 or 7 months.
Oh man, I know we could separate these two if we have to, right? Luckily there is no way for them to get to each other through here, but I don't know. He might know where you live, Rusty. I'm not sure.
He does actually know where I live. He's been to my house before everything went wrong. He was
sending all the chain letters to his house.
When we started training, Josh was the star pupil of the training academy, and he ruined everything by just turning sour as my daddy's lips. One of the things that I think about when I'm thinking of it, when I'm listening to him talk, is how angry I'm getting, and I'm trying to think of how I'm going to keep it together. But I'm almost like maybe I'll just say whatever I need to say to you as a wrestler, Bain. I'll try to save until we can get through all of this. That way we don't argue too much while we're on the show.
That's fair. I think it's a good idea to try and keep civil tonight. I feel like even that's being a little generous. So next, I think we're all going to be different around this one. The next two, actually. So we'll take his babyface work first. AJ Styles is, one of the bigger baby faces WWE's had in the last 7-8 years. When he's a babyface, he's pushed right at the top of the card, feuding with all the main event talent, fighting for championships, title matches at WrestleMania and stuff like that. What would you guys think about how good of a babyface he is. Just, you know what I mean? Rusty, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think he shows it in the way he works more. Again, like it's one of those things where it's like when you have a promo where you got a group of guys walking out and they're kind of, because I mean, one of AJ's like over his career, it always seemed like, let's bring a team of people in and use numbers in a situation, which I think is like like a story to follow. That's fine. But so like there's a part of it that's like that's a way to do things. It's not really necessarily the most face thing to do, though, to bring like a whole bunch of people with you to the ring. But at the same time, when that's like the expectation that there's these kind of clashes between groups, that's how that goes. I do think though, like his ring work shows clear differences. Like he knows, you don't see him leaning into heel work when he's facing. You don't see him, I don't know how to say it other than when he's supposed to be a face, he's obviously a face, and when he's supposed to be a heel, he's obviously a heel. And as opposed to other wrestlers who didn't change the way they wrestled at all, and they just happened to be on one side or another of something that was obviously a face versus heel scenario. I think of, to a degree, I think of Stone Cold. I think of Jake Roberts. People who didn't change the way they wrestled whatsoever, and they just happened to either be liked or not liked at that time based on circumstance. So I think AJ was very fluid and able to go where he needed, which again is that same comment of like feeling like being what the company needed him to be at the time. So yeah,
absolutely. Josh, what do you think?
Look, AJ Styles is just a natural born baby face. I feel like I'm gonna have a hard time answering this without answering both this one and the next one, which I'm assuming is rate his heel work. He's more interesting as a heel. Right? He's a great baby face. He's a great white bread baby face. And it's really easy to root for him. But I think that the problem with his babyface work is gonna kind of be mirrored in my problem with him as a heel, is that he's more entertaining as a heel. Right? Him himself, his personality comes out more. When he lets his mean streak out, he's more interesting. So for that, at not any fault of what's going on in him as a baby, he wrestles a perfect baby style. But I'm only gonna be able to give his babyface work a 7, and that's just because it feels like his personality is a little bit repressed when he's working baby.
I feel that. Sean.
Well, this is it's kind of tough because going off the ratings, because for me, growing up with watching AJ Styles like I did, I believe like most of his best babyface work was in TNA because he was the face of the company. He was TNA. He was called Mr. TNA. So for me, his best baby work was in TNA, and then when he got to WWE, he's obviously doing great face work in WWE, but it doesn't really like because most of the time you see AJ Styles on WWE now, he's a heel. With short stints as a baby face when they need him to be a baby face. So for me, I'm mostly going to go off his TNA work, which because WWE, he's like, it's so short when he's a face, it seems like. So for me, I'm going to have to give him like that 8, a solid 8 for just that end baby face work that he's been doing.
Okay, all right. Scalz, what do we got?
Rusty, I missed what you rated him. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, I think I was somewhere like 7-ish, which doesn't sound too far off. But yeah, again, like I wasn't saying it for the same reason why everyone else was. I was saying it that I feel like people have big personalities when they when they're investing in themselves, and I feel AJ invests in the company more than himself at times, which is maybe not true, but that's my reading into it.
I mean, I think the team up with Omos was pretty much a dead giveaway that he's a company kind of guy. But Scalz, go ahead.
Cap.
See, I like what Josh was saying. Am more of a fan of his heel work as opposed to his babyface run. In TNA, top notch babyface, great job, got everybody over, ran the company. Everybody went to him, loved him. He could do no wrong. WWE, babyface, not so much. Like the feud with Samoa Joe when Joe was the heel, it flopped. Like it just didn't connect people with everybody because people don't think of him as a babyface in WWE. He came from New Japan where he was more of a heelish. And then he came here and he debuted at the Rumble. And then he went after John Cena. Like he was going after all the baby faces. Chris Jericho. So everybody knows him more as a heel. So for me, his babyface work was only a 6.
Okay. I think I agree with a lot of what you guys are saying, actually, too. He's definitely like a company kind of guy. He's very selfless. He's a very giving performer. We see him bump around the ring for guys like Brock Lesnar and guys like, I mean, honestly, everybody that he gets in the ring with. He's a phenomenal seller. But I think his babyface work does leave quite a bit to be desired, simply because when he's a babyface, it's like, oh, hey, he's a good guy and he's really good at wrestling. So that's pretty much his whole thing when he's a babyface. There's never really been a terrible amount of character development when he's a babyface. We've seen a lot of character development with him when he's a heel. And I think, like Josh and Scalz said, I think he's just much more interesting as a heel. And I think he still gets a big reaction from the crowd, whether he's a babyface or a heel. So I don't think that's a big issue. He was basically a babyface by default when he faced John Cena, because that was around the time John Cena was not popular with the crowds very much anymore as far as getting cheered goes. So I just remember, I mean, we'll get into that later actually, but I say his babyface work, it's got to be like a 6.5. Could be a lot better. But again, I can't really fault the guy because, you know, he's what, like you guys said, he's a white bread babyface. So I mean, I think we've kind of like touched on how good of a heel he can be too. So we can probably just fly through this next one, unless you guys have points to make. But feel free. We'll start with Russ.
This was a pretty good comment by New to This World. Due to the early NWA TNA days, it always felt like they booked AJ to be the prototypical white meat babyface. That's what Josh was referring to before. Good guy, good wrestler. Don't boo him. He loved his work, but it's a 7 out of 10. So he's right on par with the rest of us.
Fair enough. All right, Rusty, what you got for us for heel work?
I mean, I'll agree and say it's slightly better. But in that same way, I would only go like 7.5, a little more, and maybe I'll let people celebrate it a little more than I have because I've spoken a few times.
That's fine. That's why we're here, man. Josh, what you got?
Okay, well, so here's the thing. I'm going to straight up now. I'm going to say that AJ Styles heel work has got to a point now to give him a 9 out of 10. Some of his best work has been when he's heel, and it's because people refuse to boo him. He has to work so hard to get that heat, and he doesn't cater over. You know, he doesn't break down and try to be the cool heel to try to capitalize and sell those T-shirts. He still pushes and he goes farther and farther. It's not his fault. You know, the crowd refuses to. For so long, they don't want to go against him, right? Because of how good he is. And he just works, and he won't let it go, though. He'll just work that much harder. And his heel work, I think, over the years, you know, he's developed into this guy that when he flips that switch, he knows how to flip it. And he knows how to get mean. And he'll fight his way through the audience's instinct to cheer him. And he'll still figure out a way to get them to turn on him, even though he knows, and we all know that we all respect him and love this guy so much, he still makes it happen. And if he didn't make it happen, they wouldn't keep booking him that way.
Absolutely. Sean, what you got for us?
Well, I think AJ Styles is an incredible heel in Up, Up, Down, Down. I'm just kidding. But no, seriously. Along with Up, Up, Down, Down, when he's breaking controllers when he's losing, he's a great heel in WWE. Like his work to me and his heel work in WWE is just so just A1. It's like this man flew 30 hours over to Australia just to screw LA Knight out of a title opportunity. This is going to be a great feud for him too. I think him and Drew McIntyre are going for player hater of the year. So for me, AJ altogether though, his heel work is definitely a 9 out of 10 for me. Just and no shadow. No.
Just Nate's reaction to the comment once I posted it up there was great.
Scalz, go ahead, dude.
I have to agree with Josh and Sean on this. His heel work is a 9 out of 10. It's just when he is a heel, he seems more invested in it. Like he does what he needs to do. He just the recent examples of when the Good Brothers, aka the OC, are asking him what's going on, and he smacked him just out of nowhere. It's like, dude, he gets so invested in it, he goes through. And like Sean said, the guy flew to Australia just to screw over LA Knight. And then they even mentioned that on a thing on TV. LA Knight said it. So it's it's just great little details like that that he does. So definitely a 9 out of 10 for me.
Hell yeah. I chalk AJ Styles perpetual. People still cheer him, right? Like Josh was saying, people still cheer him no matter what, whether he's a babyface or he's a heel. This is I'm glad he said that too, but I'm gonna chalk that up to what I like to call the John Cena effect. And I kind of tiptoed into that a second ago, but think about the number of people who, despite supposedly being these big bad heels, would continuously get cheered. Kevin Owens, Bray Wyatt, you know what I mean? Brock Lesnar. When Brock Lesnar came back, he immediately targeted John Cena. And I think that is one of the biggest things that a person could have done in those times is target John Cena. Because no matter what, whether people say he's got this mythical fake shovel or not, John Cena brings the best out of everybody. Everybody except Austin Theory. He brings the best out of everybody. So when it comes down to it, the John Cena effect, I think, is a huge, huge benefactor for AJ Styles getting as over as he was early in his career in WWE. AJ to be a little Ric Flair. You're right. I do remember that. They had him wear the robe and everything. It was terrible. His match quality has always been incredible. As a heel, even when he's targeting guys like John Cena, these LA Knight, these top baby faces, he's more interesting than he is as a baby face. And I always want to know what he's doing and why. So I give him an 8.5 on that one. The John Cena effect is real, no matter what you say, people. So now, we're kind of just going to do an overall body of work. Just overall as a complete total performer, 1 out of 10. Rusty.
I'm going to go a solid 9. I'm not going to go up into the high end of that spectrum, mostly because he's still got a lot left to give. I'm really happy with the way he's responded to things. I'm not going to get into other people that I feel have had similar opportunities to him and actually have I feel like they throw them away. There's his feuds are really great. He took every opportunity that he was given and turned it into something important, which is awesome. Thinking about the Undertaker, leading right up to the end of the Undertaker's last few matches, all of that, and then just where he's headed from here, because I don't think he's finished at all. So really, really at a high point, and it could go higher. That's my gut. Yeah.
All right. Josh, what do you think?
Well, it's not very often, but I think I'm gonna have to agree with Rusty on this one. I'm gonna give him a 9 overall. I think that AJ, like Rusty said, he's still got more to give. I think that he could end his body of work right now, and he's certifiable like first ballot Hall of Famer in any. And he's welcome in any company. He's gonna be one of those guys that 20 years from now we talk about dream matches between him and whoever the guys are, down the road. I think that he's not far. He's going to be one of those guys, one of the very few that's going to be in the same conversation with a Shawn Michaels. And I don't know that you can get much. You can't get much higher. And what he makes up, what he lacks in certain categories, he more than makes up for in others. I think AJ Styles is an all-timer at 9.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean, what do you got?
My bias is going to show again. He's a phenomenal 10 for me. All around work. Like I said, I'm a huge, one of the biggest AJ Styles marks, so I can't grade him anything lower for myself. It's me. I gotta support my boy AJ. This is one of my heroes growing up, so a 10.
A 10. All right, Scalz, let's bring it home with this.
Rusty and Josh pretty much said it all in regards to AJ Styles on this. I'm just gonna have to go with a 9 with them.
Fair enough. I think I'm gonna stick around the 9 zone too. What he lacks, where he has his deficiencies in his promo work and in his babyface work, he more than makes up for it with his in-ring work. I think his in-ring work is something that can overcome everything that he might have that's considered a deficiency. And his heel work. Ooh, with that being said, we got a little bit of hostility up in here. I think we need to get you guys out of here. Rusty, where can we find you at, my man?
If you can, Northland Wrestling is my home promotion. There's a big show that Bain was just talking about happening on March 23rd. And then leading up to that, I'll be doing 6 shows in 6 days with Canadian Wrestling Elite. I'll be working multiple matches, working with my best friend Tommy McLeod in some tag matches, doing some singles matches where I'll be facing off against Sean Martins, who's another undesirable, we'll say, similar to this character right here. And then I get to wrestle on March 20th in Sturgeon Falls, Ontario, which is my home community where I live. And I am tagging with Salvio Vega against the Digglers, who are a couple of loudmouth rapscallions. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, you can find me at CWE or you can find me at Northland.
Did you say Savio Vega, like the Savio Vega?
That is correct. Yes, I'll be tagging with Savio Vega for a match. That'll be fun. And if you can wait until Bain gets to talk, because he'll tell you all about Salvio.
Hell yeah! All right, Mr. Bain, where can we find you?
You can find me at Bain.wrestling on Instagram. You can find me on the same tour. I'm going to be with CWE, but Savio Vega is not going to actually get the team with Rusty because he's got to go through Bain. I got him one-on-one, and Savio's not making it to your tag team match, Rusty. I'm sorry, buddy. And so Instagram, CWE, and then Northland Wrestling, where Daddy's home.
All right. Alpha Simp, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitch, streaming before the lovely Off the Top Rivet City Radio shows go live on their respective channels, or after at the Alpha Wolf Sean B with streaming. Hopefully, I can get 2K working, continue streaming that, or I stream Fortnite, whatever. You can find me on pretty much every social media. Instagram is Alpha Wolf Sean B 2.0. TikTok is the Alpha Wolf Sean B. And then you can find me Monday nights on River City Radio after Monday Night Raw with the table spot. Or on here sometimes.
All right. Scalz, how about you?
You can find me here on Off the Top Media on both Twitch and YouTube, and then Off the Top Media _ on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. It was great to come back to do a career retrospective. Thank you, Nate, for allowing me to be on the show. Take us home.
All right. Again, I just want to say thank you guys so much for kind of being patient. I know there was a lot going on that I don't really, you guys know me. I don't disclose my public or my personal life in public. So, I mean, it was really difficult time there for a little bit. So I can't appreciate you guys enough for holding things down for me. And the couple of episodes that Shadow hosted and did a fantastic job with. So I do want to say thank you for that. Moving forward, we're going to stick to this every 2-week schedule for career retrospective. I'm in this. I'm ready to go. My energy is up. I feel great. You can find me on TikTok at Nate McNamara WB. You can find me pretty much nowhere else because all my social media has been deactivated, and I don't really like social media that much. I like my TikTok family. I like my Twitch family. This is where I belong. This is what I love doing. It's a good outlet too. It's a good way to kind of get away from the rest of the world. So with that being said, who's winning the main event of WrestleMania this year? Is it Cody Rhodes or is it going to be the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns?
Holy crap. It's got to be Rhodes. I'm sorry.
Got to be Rhodes?
Roman Reigns has been running the show for too long. I'm done.
All right.
Time to move on.
Josh, who's winning?
Well, I say it's got to be Rhodes, but I just like seeing people disappointed too much. So just because Rusty wants Rhodes to win, I'm just going to say Roman Reigns.
Ooh.
I was going to say you can't possibly agree with Rusty on
I just
that.
want everyone disappointed. That's what I want.
Sean, who's winning?
Look, by no means am I a fan at all of Roman Reigns, but I want to see the Cody crybabies suffer again because I cried so much on social media for this match. I'm going Roman, defeat Hogan's streak, and then he can lose it.
Scalz?
I don't think they have Cody lose because that would really defeat the purpose of the Rumble, considering the winner would not have won 4 years in a row.
Yep.
What would be the point of winning the Rumble if everyone loses? So it has to be Cody.
I will say one thing. I think I want you guys to look at this from a different perspective. Cody Rhodes' fan base just exploding and going all over social media. I think it's been beneficial to WWE because I think it means The Rock actually sticks around longer. And that's just good for business. I think The Rock was going to come in, do this one-off match, and disappear. I think Cody Rhodes sticking around has extended that story now. The Rock gets to stay around longer. Everyone benefits. That being said, Cody Rhodes is winning at the Royal Rumble at WrestleMania. But yeah, all right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned to my TikTok and Off the Top Media TikTok. We will be announcing the next career retrospective 2 weeks from tonight. Just stay tuned. But everybody else, thank you guys so much for joining. We'll see you next time.
Peace.